Freedom. What does freedom mean to you? Is it wealth? Is it money? Is it time? Is it peace? What do you consider freedom? As for me, I consider freedom in a couple of different ways. One is definitely time, and that's why I am growing my company up to have more time to build it where people can run the company where I don't have to be in the day to day business of it. So I have freedom of time to do what I need to do or want to do in life. But also, freedom to me is having peace from God, having that freedom, knowing that no matter what happens on this earth, no matter all the stuff that's bad, that at one day I'm going to have peace in heaven. And I say that because I was listening to a podcast today. And he's talking about the podcast I was listening to was talking about a podcast with Elon Musk talking about robots. Now he claims the next 5 to 8 years there's going to be like 8 billion robots doing the work of people, and that people are going to kind of not have a job anymore. And then, I didn't agree with everything that they said that they agreed with him on, or I don't even know if I agree with him, but people look at this life in a money, in a to make life simpler and easier. And yes, that gives you some freedom sometime, but if you're not living for a sense of purpose, what's the point of having that freedom? Just because I'm running or growing my company to where I don't have to do the day-to-day business doesn't mean I don't have a sense of purpose to go out and do things in life or to do something that I want to do. I'll never quit working because I always want to do something that I love doing. But having back to that podcast talking about that all these robots are going to come take over everybody's job and that money's not going to matter. But I keep thinking, well, if money's not going to matter, how do you buy the robots? Who's going to, if they're going to be there to do everything, how are you going to have a sense of purpose? And I just look at life a little bit different. I look at life from a spiritual realm instead of a worldly realm, right? To me, it's not about all the money you can have. It's not about to being rich. It's about being wealthy with freedom and with love and with being able to serve and help others. And for me to have that gives me freedom, giving me the knowledge that God has put me on this earth for a purpose more than worrying about robots and things that are coming in the future, which kind of scares me, to be honest with you, because I think reality is going to leave human touch, but that's all in the plan, right? That's all in the plan in the Bible. Eventually, this world's going to change and it's going to be, it's just going to be different. And to have that freedom and that peace, to know that there's something else after this, to not let that stuff get to me, to know that there's something else is a sense of freedom to me. To know that there is a heaven and there is a God and there is a purpose for us on this earth. And if we look at it that way and look at it in a spiritual way, then the stuff of the world, it's a little harder to scare you. It's a little harder for you to get worried about because there's more to this life than what is on this earth. And it's probably hard for a lot of people to understand who don't believe the way that I believe. But to me, that's a sense of freedom of to not fear the what ifs, a sense of freedom not to fear what's coming, all these robots and all that. It's going to happen whichever way it's going to happen, but to know that there's something better beyond this life is a sense of freedom to me. It's a sense of peace, and peace to me is freedom, having peace in my heart, knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing that's in my heart, if that makes any sense. And peace is freedom. True peace, true soulful peace is freedom from the world, from the fears, from all the bad in this world that we know is here, we know is going to happen, we know that is happening, but knowing what's coming after that is the peace and the freedom that I'm talking about. Yes, I would love to have freedom of time, and I'm working towards that so I can do more things that I need to do, I guess, to serve God's purpose or serve the purpose He put me on here for. And I believe time is going to be able to give me that, and that's something that we are working on professionally. And to have that freedom, right? Obviously, sometimes you have to have money to have that, but to have enough money to have you freedom is different than having enough money just to have enough money and say you're rich, to flaunt it, to show it. And I'm not saying anything bad about people like that. That's what they are. They live for money. They love money, and your idol is money. We all have idols if you really want to get down to it. And what is that idol? Is it money? Is it other gods? Is it people? What is it, right? To me, hopefully mine is God. That's what I feel that my idol is. It's something that I want to live more to be like, but it's the creator. that I will never be perfect like him, but I can always work to get better each and every day to have that peace and that freedom that I desire so much in my soul. So whenever all these things are talking about robots coming and 8 billion robots going to take over everything, well, what's the purpose of us and what are we going to be? What are we going to do? We're going to be lazy. We're not going to have a purpose, and people are going to be a lot less free. They're going to be a lot more miserable, is what I see. And they say that, oh, there's going to be jobs. There's going to be something to create. But is there? I mean, right now, AI is everywhere. And I do believe that that's going to turn because I believe people need interaction. People need to talk to people. And I will refuse to rely on AI. It's great. It's a good tool and it's good for business and good for other things, but we still got to have human connection. We still got to have that touch and that tone and that talking to people. And whenever you get stuck into all that and you take all that and say, this is where it's going to be, this is going to be awesome, that AI is taking over and robots, how does that give you any freedom whenever you don't even have a worth in life, a purpose to serve in life? And it just boggles my mind that people don't look at it from this realm. Everybody thinks it's a worldly realm, and it's not. I promise you it's not. And if you believe, then you know what I'm talking about. You know that there's spiritual warfare, there's spiritual stuff going on all over. And if you just focus on the world, you've already lost, because the world is not going to get you where you need. It's not going to get you the freedom. Just because you have the most money in the world doesn't matter. And if you have all that money and you're not using it to help people and you're buying houses and islands and all these cars and flaunting it, then obviously that's your idol, and you're not using it for the purpose that God wants you to use it. And there's nothing wrong with having money. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having money and being rich, but you should use it for what it's for, and that's to help and to serve others, not for your own glory. And once you get to that level and realize that it's not about the world, that's to me where the freedom comes from. That if you're doing the right thing and you're living to your best ability to serve God and to be closer to him and be more like him, and you can get that true freedom because you're not scared. You're not scared of what's coming. If all these wars come, if there's a nuke war, if the world ends, if these robots come, if you don't do something right on your job and you lose your job and you don't have hope and you don't have faith, how is that freedom? It's not. It's nothing but panic and worry and stress, and causes diseases and causes all kinds of chaos in your brain and your body and sickness. So to me, freedom is a lot different than most people. And I just want you to think, what is freedom to you? Is it just having so much money you don't have to do nothing? Is that really going to be freedom if you're miserable because you have nothing else to do? Is it freedom of time? Being able to do what you want, I think, is glorious. I think if we have more time, we have more things to do to serve and to help other people when we don't have to be stuck just working all the time or with our nose in the grindstone, just going all the time. So there's different levels of freedom. Some freedom is true freedom. Some freedom is what we call worldly freedom. And that's just, I don't know why I'm even talking about this. It's something that just come up to me. And I've always thought about it that way. And I remember years ago, I was in a mastermind and we was out there after the mastermind talking, and I talked to these people, had nothing to do with it. And they were from another country talking about how they couldn't believe we had guns and that, freedom is not worth it. And I'm like, ultimate freedom is knowing God and serving him. And I told a girl that was in our mastermind that she's like, I never thought about it, but it is. Whenever you know that we're in a world of sin and a world of all this chaos and all this evil, and there is good in this world. I'm not saying that it's pure. I mean, there is good. God puts bad things or hard things in front of us to make us better. And sometimes he has to put us all the way down to the ground to make us realize that we don't know what we're talking about and we need to change and do things better for him. That's what he does whenever he loves us. That's what we do as parents, right? We punish our kids or tell our kids this is wrong so they can learn the right way. And we discipline them, right? We disciple to them. And it's something I do with my son, and he's hard-headed and we butt heads all the time, but I'm disciplining him or discipling to him so he can understand right now is a time to learn, because it's easy to get out of trouble as opposed to whenever you're grown. And whenever you learn that and you understand that the world is the world and there is good and there's bad, and know that freedom doesn't come from the world. So sometimes you have to be disciplined to change so you can understand that there's more to it in this world. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes I talk and listen to these, or I make these podcasts, and sometimes I don't know if it makes any sense, but I'm doing the best. My brain works a lot different. It spins a lot faster than a lot of people's, and I do my best to get my point across. So I hope I am. I hope it's not too confusing, but get out there, live a life of freedom, however you see it, but make sure it's the right freedom. Make sure it's not going after something that's not going to get you where ultimately we need to go. And obviously, if you don't believe in God or Jesus, it's probably not going to matter to you. Hopefully, maybe it'll find somebody that isn't miserable, that don't understand, and now maybe they will find Jesus. I don't know, and it's not easy. It's something you have to search for, something you have to want, something you have to study, and be open minded, and not listen to everybody you hear out in the world, and know for yourself and find out for yourself that there is a true God, there is a true Jesus who died and sacrificed for us to be forgiven, so we can have that ultimate freedom in heaven and that peace in our heart, knowing that we're doing what we're supposed to do to be able to get there and to love and just to do that. That's what it's all about. So get out there, change the way you think so you can change your lives and find your freedom. And I'll talk to y'all later.